Something I've been thinking about recently is the way that we handle historic buildings. And I was particularly thinking about this in relation to a local castle, or the remains of a local castle. There's not much left of it. Now, this castle was built by Edward I after he conquered the local town, and it depends on what reports you read, but certainly he slaughtered a lot of people, a lot of residents of the town, thousands, ranging between like 4,000 to 40,000. No, it wouldn't have been 40,000, but that's not the point. So this castle, it would have been very impressive, magnificent, super defensive structure, like many of Edward's castles. But to the residents who were looking up at it, it was a sign of conquest and subjugation. In a way, the walls would have reflected the screams of those they knew who had died. It's like constantly shoving it in their faces. Now, this castle now is kind of destroyed due to various reasons. One was the invention of the cannon meant that it was no longer a good defensive structure, so the town built walls which could defend against that. Another thing that happened was with the ascension of James I of England to the English throne, the Scottish king, James VI of Scotland, there was no longer a need for a defensive border with Scotland from the English point of view, and so this castle lost its function, right, as a defensive place, though it still had a role in civic life. But now, what is it? It's a tourist attraction. People come, and they come to see the ruins of this once mighty and magnificent and haunting, terrifying castle for a little day out. And I don't know quite how I feel about that, because it kind of mollifies it. It makes it a kind of gentle and soft thing, whereas actually, like, its history is pretty brutal and hard and like a place of real conflict. It raises broader questions about how we treat historic buildings, how we just see them as something like an amusing object to go and look at, and on a Sunday afternoon before we go back to our ordinary lives, something kind of gentle and cozy and whimsical, rather than a place with a real history and a bit of danger to it. And so I'm wondering, how do we integrate somewhere like that castle in a more meaningful way into our lives today?